I'ma mask up and take it, 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 mask up and take it.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, and per request of the tiniest human, I'm cheersing Harold. And in today's video, we are doing a full Buckethead collection update. I told you guys that I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I just had so much Buckethead stuff coming in so often that I didn't want to do it, and then a week later have 7 more pieces that weren't included in the video. But I've got a nice little setup down here. It's temporary, but it's in the mask room, and I think everything looks okay right now, so we're going to go ahead and run through it. I'll give you guys a little bit of information on each piece that I show, but for the full history behind each piece, I would recommend checking out the Buckethead playlist that I'm setting up. It's going to have all my Buckethead related content, so all the unboxings and stuff like that are going to be in that playlist. That way, if a certain piece in my collection catches your eye and you want the full story on it, you can see an entire video dedicated to just that piece. And while I do expect this video to be a little bit lengthy, because I am going to try to give you at least a little bit of information and an example of Buckethead using the item, those other videos are going to have the full extent of whatever I know about that piece. So, Buckethead playlist, make sure to go check it out if you guys are curious and you haven't seen those videos yet. I'm going to go ahead and hand the camera off to my lovely assistant, the late, great Kate. We're going to get into this Buckethead collection.
A few moments later.
Alright, we're going to start over here with my 2016 life-size build. And this is based off of the first time that I saw Buckethead live. I did everything as accurate as I could think to do. I used my first original 90s KFC bucket. This is an original 90s KFC bucket. We've got an 83 recast that I converted to match up perfectly. I've got a Herbie that I converted here from a newer Distortions copy. Actually, no, it wasn't a Distortions copy. It was a Chinese copy. What are you doing?
I'm trying not to breathe into the...
Kate's real sick, so you're probably going to hear her cough in this video, and she's over here like this.
I'm trying to, like, not mouth breathe right into the camera.
We've got a real Jordan jersey, like, re-release thing, which is what I believe Buckethead was wearing, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he was wearing the real vintage copies, but they're real expensive. And, yeah, I just really enjoy this look, and I don't remember when or why exactly I decided to do a life-size build, but this look was definitely the one that I wanted to go with, because I think it's the coolest, and it's still probably my favorite Buckethead look. Something about the Jordan jersey is just cool to me. We've got my Chipson, straight from China.
China. China. China.
We've got a nice little bucket shelf here. This is just random buckets. A vintage 67 bucket. We've got a Disneyland like reproduction bucket that I made with these stickers that my buddy Biz designed. Up here we have some toys that Buckethead gave us at the last show that we went and saw. Coming over to this, we have this atrocious bust that I made years and years ago, and it's really not good, and the only reason that it's not good is because the wig is fucking garbage, and I've just never replaced it. But we've got the accurate white bucket with the accurate funeral sticker, and this entire thing was modeled after the We Are One music video, so there's a lot of behind the scenes footage where he's wearing this getup with the yellow raincoat and the white bucket with the funeral sticker, which is probably the only time I've ever seen him wear the white bucket with a funeral sticker. Some random stuff down there. We've got the Bill Mosley Army Man mask, thanks to the Mask Hunter. We have a Death Cube K down there. We've got a reproduction bucket that I made for Jimmy Theodo, who actually designed these stickers. So if you guys have seen me talk about the bucket that I gave to Buckethead and that he wore, it had one of Museum of Random's Buckethead Jordan Colonel Sanders mashup stickers, as well as my logo. So this one's for Jimmy. And then I've got another one on my 2019 life size, which you guys will see shortly. We got another correct white bucket. A lot of people keep buying these buckets and painting them white, and they think that they're the right ones, and they're not the right ones. And me and the Mask Hunter and Douglas Little know what the right ones are. So we have like the oddball shelf. This has a bunch of oddball Buckethead masks. We have the 97 KFC bucket that he wore in Japan. We've got the modern large bucket that he wore at the show that Douglas Little gave him. And then we have a couple of the smaller modern KFC buckets, which he's also thrown on from different fans. We have my second 90s KFC bucket. Shout out to Drown Boy Cosplay, who will not get this from me probably ever, but really wants it. 2 Myers masks. We have an 85 Dawn Post, the mask, which Buckethead used quite often. And then even more than that one, we've got this 2004 Dawn Post Michael Myers mask, and Buckethead used this a lot earlier in the 2000s to like sign autographs and stuff after the show. And it's like the ugliest Myers mask ever, but somehow Buckethead made it look cool, just with the ragged hair and the weird mouth cuts and stuff. I don't know. He's rad. We have a Michael Jackson mask and a Be Something Studios skull mask. Both were used when Buckethead did the Thriller dance on stage. And those videos are just cool because he's breaking it down just like Michael Jackson. Obviously a huge Michael Jackson fan. PMG Witch, Buckethead used this while recording some stuff. We've got the Rotten Vegetable version of Herbie along with the finger puppet stage that Buckethead used in that one video that still creeps me out to this day. We've got two random white masks. We got an 83 female Caesar, which Buckethead wore in a photo with Maximum Bob. And then on the back side of the Inbred Mountain album, we have this weird little display that he used this weird white vinyl mask with. More oddballs. The Esquire mask is pretty popular amongst Buckethead collectors because he wore that in one of the old home videos where he's just being a weirdo and he's got teeth chattering in his hand and he like digs them up out of his backyard. I'm sure you guys have seen it. And then we come on over to this nice glass IKEA shelf, which I would love to get some more of because they just make everything look nice. Up top, we have a real 83 Caesar. Buckethead, you're more than welcome to have that if you want it because I know they're rare and you probably need them. We've got this Don Post decapitation prop. Me and the Mask Hunter are the only people I know that have that. Shout out to Tron Cole for sending me the link to that. And then behind it, we have an old Distortions Unlimited decap mask, and Buckethead actually wore that in a couple of photos, and most notoriously on Headbanger's Ball. Super, super cool because he's just sitting there with his own head in his lap moving around, and he's got this decapitation mask on. Inside of the case, I'll actually open it up. Inside of the case we have the basement mask, we have an old Deli Creeps bucket, and then we have my original vintage Herbie. That's like the closest to Buckethead's original Herbie out there, and I'm very, very glad to own that. That's been one of my favorite pieces for a very long time now. Down here we've got like a little NAMM setup with the yellow Caesar and the old KFC bucket, and then we've got this random Herbie. Once again, me and the Mask Hunter are the only people that own those that I know of, and he's got like 3 now, and I've just got this one that Kate made me buy Halloween hunting before I even knew what it was, so shout out to Kate for making me buy that. Because we later found out that it was a rare Herbie. We have a toy that a fellow Buckethead fan sent in for a Mailbox Monday that Buckethead actually gave him during the first show that I saw Buckethead, and he sent it to me because I didn't get a toy during that show.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
We've got the severed hand prop, one of my favorite things Buckethead has ever used because it's super creepy and weird. Moving on down, we have 2 hand-drawn pikes as well as an old Monster Faces toy, which are super, super rare. I believe that me, Douglas Little, and the Mask Hunter are the only people that have those in the Buckethead world, and I got mine from the Mask Hunter. So once again, shout out to the Mask Hunter. And then on the bottom shelf there, we've got a 70s Mattel Saw, which you guys might know from Buckethead killing Les Claypool. He cut his little neck with that. And then 2 old Leatherface pieces. There's a Don Post, old mass-produced one, and then a newer Ruby's mass-produced one. And I forgot to talk about these guys. This is a real vintage Fresh Death. This is the alternative Herbie, and Buckethead has used it in this state. He has used it in this state with eyes painted on, and then clearly he ripped the hair off, and we got the like modern bald Herbie that you guys see. Sometimes he still uses it, and then other times he uses the zombie Herbie that he has. And this isn't displayed properly, but I actually have the correct sun visor that he wore on this last tour, as well as the NOM/whatever other convention he used this Distortions piece at. And once again, me and the Mask Hunter are the only people I know that have those, so that's pretty rad. And we're starting to dwindle down. Here's my latest Buckethead creation, and I'm definitely stoked on how it turned out. Bet you guys didn't realize I was stoked. We've got a 2019 life-sized Buckethead complete with a Herbie that was completely reworked by Drown Boy Cosplay. as well as the same exact grandpa mask that I gave to Buckethead. Once I gave it to him, I started looking for other copies because I knew that I wanted to make another life-size. And I couldn't find him anywhere, like not secondhand. I'd never seen another copy, and I know that mask since like 2012. 2012! And it took a while, but I was able to track down the original dude that made it. He said he hadn't made a copy since like 2008, 2009, and he still somehow had the mold and said he would make me a copy and made it super, super cheap, and it looks just like the one that I gave to Buckethead. So the build came together super nice. We've got, damn you, making me look silly in front of my friends. We've got a mask that I converted once again. There's a video of that, obviously modeled after the 2019 version. We've got a couple buckets that I converted under there, and then we have the same exact bucket that I gave to Buckethead, and no one actually knows what that bucket is, like what the original base bucket that I painted was, so I'm going to try to keep it that way. Thought I had to burp, didn't. And then I just threw up this shelf last night. It's just some random Buckethead like media, different magazines and pikes and DVDs. And I do plan on getting just some little knickknacks to throw on there, and maybe a shelf under it once I get the rest of this wall painted. Drives me nuts that this room is unfinished, but I ran out of paint and I'm lazy, so there's that. And one last thing, one last shout out to the mask hunter. I have these rare stickers in there that Buckethead actually used. He used one of those skull stickers, this one here to be exact, on his guitar back in the Deli Creeps days, as well as a Steelers sticker, and Tron Cole hooked me up with that one. So hey, major shout out to the mask hunter for helping me with my Buckethead stuff. He is like my best Buckethead friend, and yeah, I definitely appreciate everything you've done. So there's that. But yeah, I think that just about does it. I didn't want to go into too much detail with like what this stuff was, because there's videos on all of it anyways, and I feel like that would just be regurgitated garbage. And yeah, one thing that I am missing, and it was actually pointed out by the man himself, is foam fingers. So foam fingers crossed. Maybe one day I'll have some foam fingers in my set. I also need some nunchucks. But yeah, someone said that I needed some foam fingers in my set, so I'm hoping to make that happen in the future, and if it does, I'm sure you guys will see a video on it. And yeah, I just really love Buckethead. Buckethead is cool, and he's just cool. So yeah, I noticed a lot of you guys say that you weren't into Buckethead prior, and some of you guys say that you're still not into Buckethead, but you love like my videos on collecting his stuff. So I think that's pretty rad, and I think there's a little bit of Buckethead for everybody. There's like something about him that everybody can get into. Kate wasn't a Buckethead fan until we saw him in concert, and now she thinks he's the coolest thing ever too. And my best friend Corey took him to a show, and he didn't even know who Buckethead was, and he said that was like the best show he's ever been to. So yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody's kind words, and that is it for my Buckethead video, I think. Kate?
I just need to... Yep, yeah. I'm good.
You're good now?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you guys dig the Buckethead stuff, and if you don't, fuck you. And until next time, that'll do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I already said that once, and we will see you later.